With the conclusion of Version 2's main story, I wanted to look back and share my thoughts about it, what I liked, didn't like, and my hopes for Version 3. This video will specifically be about Yixuan. Originally, it was going to be about Yixuan and shunguang, but I decided to make the shunguang portion a separate video, so if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe and keep an eye out for whenever that releases. So, I accidentally deleted all of my version 2 story footage. I was deleting some old voice files, accidentally clicked on my zenless story footage folder, didn't notice, and poof, it was gone. Enjoy the random gameplay or listen to me in the background while you do something else. Cook, clean, workout, whatever floats your boat. We were introduced to Yixuan in version 1.7 through the mayor. She introduced herself to Belle and Weiss, beat up some materials, and offered to teach the siblings martial arts and magic! Come version 2.0, we went to the Waifei Peninsula and joined the temple. In general, I do not like her, but in version 2.0, Yixuan was a great character. She introduced us to the region, explained some of its history and customs, introduced us to the temple and its practitioners, as well as some of the civilians, and most importantly, taught Belle a magic spell on the first night, more specifically how to manipulate miasma through her special eyes. And once she caught wind of the Exalted's plans, she spearheaded a campaign to stop them, casting a powerful protection spell around Waifei alongside Jufufu, Shi Yuan, Panda, and Belle. Also being the first in line to fight Mevarak, or Mevarok? I forgot how you pronounce it. The priest, the head priest. Even going as far as to put herself in life-threatening danger to stop their plans. The fight resulted in her being bedridden for an undisclosed amount of time, long enough to not be able to immediately solve the crisis of version 2.1. Throughout all of this, we also learned some things about her personal life, most importantly, her upbringing alongside her sister, and about how her sister sacrificed herself many years ago to save the city from a great catastrophe. Although she was great in version 2.0, things quickly fell apart from there. Version 2.0 ended with a cliffhanger showing Yixuan's sister being resurrected. Or was she? Ooh, spooky! This was a great hook for future updates. How would Yixuan react to seeing some bizarre, broken, monstrous version of her sister? Would she want to try and save her? Put it out of its misery? Somehow try to resurrect her real sister? The answer is none of the above! She took a quick power nap throughout most of version 2.1. Now, her being out of commission makes sense. Not only did she perform an extremely powerful technique when fighting Mevarak, she was exposed to a shit ton of miasma in the process, which is basically a poison. I actually like that she's out of commission for so long and can't help for most of 2.1's story because it creates real, tangible consequences from what happened in the previous version. However, when she eventually wakes up from her power nap and confronts her monstrous pseudo-sister, nothing happens. Yixuan swoops in at the last second to save Yuzuha from falling to her death, says a one-liner, looks at her pseudo-sister, scrunches her nose a little, kills her, and never brings it up. Literally, she never talks about it. Such an amazing opportunity to expand her character was completely wasted. Genuinely, what was the point of resurrecting her sister if you aren't going to use it as a vehicle to explore Yixuan's character? The only purpose that Yixuan's sister serves is to be a boss fight for the weekly rotation endgame content. That's it. All they needed to do was show Yixuan visibly shaken when first laying eyes on the corrupted remnants of her sister. Not a full-blown breakdown, but a moment of pause. She knows the monster before her is not her real sister, but it is connected to her in some way. This solemn fact breaks her usual calm, cool, and collected demeanor, if only for a moment, giving us a glimpse of the real Yixuan. The woman who had to step up long before she was ready to guide an entire temple, long before she was ready to defend the world from the horrors of the Hollow and her fellow man. If only for a moment, seeing the corrupted visage of her sister reminded her of how undeserving she still thinks she is of her current role. After that brief moment of pause, she steels herself and prepares for battle. Once the dust has settled and everyone returns to the temple, Yixuan should have a conversation with Belle, telling stories and fond memories she has with her sister, remembering the love, safety, and warmth of her real sister. Take a drink every time I said the word sister. Because Yixuan has no real reaction and doesn't even really talk about it, this plot point is a complete waste of time and also just baffling. Genuinely, why did the writers create this monstrous version of Yixuan's sister, take another drink, if they weren't going to do anything with it, besides have it just be another monster of the week that we have to fight in the story mode? The main problem with Yixuan for the remainder of Season 2 is the fact that she wasn't allowed to do anything. She was consistently written out of the story or not allowed to use her overwhelming strength to instantly solve every problem when she was present. The only time this was acceptable was in version 2.1, since it was a direct fallout of her decisions in the previous version. Every version after slowly became more and more unacceptable. In 2.2, even though she was perfectly able to and even offered to help, Oboe Squad refused to let her solve the issue of Izelda's betrayal. She was there to offer some very minuscule help, but Oboe Squad kept her at a distance. They wanted to fix the issue directly by themselves. To some degree, it does make sense, but guys, Izelda is threatening to destroy the entirety of Waifei Peninsula. Put your personal connections to her aside and let Yixuan kill her. Bro, she is a mass murderer. Let Yixuan kill this son of a bitch. Oh my god. Sorry I called Izelda a bitch. I love her. In version 2.3, Yixuan left Waifei to attend some random meeting. What was it about? Who knows? It's never explained. Apparently it's just important for some reason. And in 2.4, she's still in the goddamn meeting. She finally returns in 2.5, but she still doesn't do anything. During the final raid into the hollow to stop Sarah, instead of going in herself, she stays at the temple to protect the civilians. Listen, it's important to protect the civilians. I understand that. But you know what's more important? Stopping Sarah. Send your nuclear bomb that is Yixuan into the goddamn hollow. What are we doing here? What is this plan? It makes no fucking sense. Why is the goddamn 12-year-old tiger going inside of the hollow? Why is Jufufu there? Oh my god. She should be protecting the civilians, not goddamn Yixuan. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. For some reason, my glorious goat, Miyabi, goes in her place instead. Listen, I love Miyabi as much as the next guy, probably even more. Why is she here? They explain it. I understand why she's there. But literally, genuinely, actually, why is she there? Yixuan, instead of redeeming herself for being a no-show bum for the last couple of updates, instead lets best girl Miyabi steal her thunder. Why would they not send the insanely powerful mystic martial arts master? It's dumb. It's just so stupid. I guess we gotta shield Shunguang, the waifu of the week, instead of doing the thing that's smart for the story. I'm sorry. No, by all means, let's send the 12-year-old cat girl and the panda that loves to cook instead. Of course, it's genius. Why didn't I think of that? Although I just complained about how Yixuan not helping solve every problem is dumb, her being so immensely powerful is a massive flaw of Season 2's story. I like to call it the Aurelic paradox. If Yixuan just swooped in every chapter and used her overwhelming might to strike down all that stood before her, the story would be very boring and lack tension. Yixuan herself isn't the problem, but rather how the story utilized her. The fact that she is the siblings' master means that she spends a lot of time with them. So in order to give the story any form of tension, she must be either completely written out or given a reason for why she can't instantly fix everything. She is essentially the Season 2 version of Miyabi, a super powerful Void Hunter level character that we meet at the beginning of the story arc. So why does Miyabi work so well and Yixuan doesn't? The main difference is that although Bell met Miyabi in version 1.0, they didn't become real, actual friends. Rather, they established a working relationship as Hollow investigators. Miyabi herself is a part of Section 6, an important specialist team that is constantly dealing with important matters and going on missions. Due to that, Bell couldn't get in contact with Miyabi to solve her problems even if she wanted to. Even now, long after version 1.4, where Bell and Miyabi became friends, Bell still can't contact Miyabi to solve her problems since she is still a member of Section 6. Yixuan is Bell's master, which means Bell can ask her for help whenever she wants. Unlike Miyabi, Yixuan has no natural excuse to not be involved in the story at all times. Which is how we ended up with the goddamn meeting. The story has to bend over backwards to write her out of the story. So how do we fix this? Well, I came up with two different routes. Route 1 is to massively rewrite the story, giving Yixuan a similar role to Miyabi. Version 2 will remain mostly the same. Yixuan takes Bell to Waifu Peninsula at the beginning of version 2, then all of the Exalted stuff happens, and Yixuan fights in Mevarok, she gets injured, and then version 2.1 will also mostly be the same because Yixuan is bedridden. However, things change with version 2.2. She decides to independently investigate the Exalted and everything that they're doing. Because of this, she can no longer directly train Bell. Instead, Jufufu, Anda, and Yixuan are simultaneously helping teach Bell and Weiss. Yixuan periodically comes back to the temple to check up on the training, give some advice, and then goes on to continue her independent mission. This feels like a much more natural way to write Yixuan out of the story, rather than going to some random meeting that to this day we still have no idea what it was about. Instead, she is directly helping with the Exalted situation, just independently. Honestly, although I do prefer this version of writing Yixuan out of the story, I don't love it because it makes her too similar to Miyabi from a story standpoint, this super powerful Void Hunter level character that we meet every now and then. I prefer my second idea, Route 2. This fix is much simpler, making the threats of Season 2 more powerful. Remember how Mevarok forced Yixuan to almost sacrifice herself to stop the Exalted in version 2.0? That level of power and danger would be applied to every major enemy. Yixuan's corrupted sister would be equal, if not a little stronger than her, forcing her to team up with Yuzuha and Alice to just barely defeat her. Yixuan and Obo Squad would have to team up and fight with everything they have to defeat a full power miasma-infused Izelda. And then instead of having Yixuan go to some random meeting in versions 2.3 and 2.4, instead she will remain in the temple and directly help Bell solve all of the issues with Yidhari and the Banyue stuff. This would not only raise the stakes of Season 2, but also show how immensely powerful Yixuan is. Because if she wasn't there, Bell and whoever else was with her would have died. It's perfect. You can kill two birds with one stone. Yixuan remains an extremely powerful ally, and the writers don't have to consistently write her out of the story. The worst part about version 2.5 is that there was a moment that really made me think they would greatly expand upon Yixuan. Halfway into the story, Yixuan, or however you pronounce it, I forgot, confronts Yixuan and a temple elder. He accuses them of being involved in a grand conspiracy. Specifically, he says that the elder is responsible for ordering the deaths of the family members of many potential wielders of the Qingming blade, and that Yixuan, although not directly involved, knew of these horrific events and chose to stay silent. I was losing my mind when this scene happened because I loved the idea of Yixuan being complicit in the mass murder of her many disciples' families, exploring how she lived with the guilt learning of her coping mechanisms, realizing why she's so protective of Shunguang, the current wielder of the Xingming blade. So much story potential wasted, because it's revealed that she had literally no idea any of that was happening. Not only is she a bum, she's a goddamn moron. The Elder was solely responsible for all that bloodshed and sorrow. Mind you, the Elder was a completely brand new character introduced in version 2.5. We had literally never heard of this guy, but apparently he was super important and super well respected, and everybody listened to him, even Yixuan. Like, apparently he's similar in authority to her, which is fucking insane, because apparently he's been here the whole time, but we just never met him throughout versions 2.0 or 2.4. We never even heard about him. Literally the only reason the old dude exists is to absolve Yixuan of any potential wrongdoing. We can't have Yixuan potentially be responsible for some of the hurt that Shunguang and Shi Yuan have experienced in their life. No. She must be this perfect angel, not a bad bone in her body. Nope. Let's just create some old dude to be responsible for all of the pain and hurt that Shunguang and Shi Yuan have experienced. What the fuck, bro? Literally. But whatever. At the very least, I was hoping that maybe she would have to wrestle with the guilt that she was too stupid to realize what was happening and stop it. But no. Shi Yuan and Shunguang both immediately forgive her, absolving her of all guilt and wrongdoing. What could have been a fascinating, emotionally gripping character arc gone, reduced to atoms in mere moments. It's impressive, really, how adamant the writers are in refusing to make Yixuan, or any post-version 2 character for that matter, multi-layered, deep, complex characters. But hey, she's got a big ass and even bigger titties. Waifu. Due to all of this, Yixuan went from being a great character in 2.0 with a lot of room to grow and explore, to a boring, basic, shallow powerhouse, all style and no substance. What a goddamn disappointment.